Good evening, everyone. Madam Clerk, right back in the meeting. We're going to go right to the city manager's report.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Up first is a presentation by 3P Cannabis Manufacturing.
Mayor, Council, my name is Rob DePisa. I'm an attorney at the law firm Colshots, and I represent 3P. 3P is before the mayor and council requesting approval to operate a Class 2 cannabis manufacturing facility in the city. The property is pre-zoned for the use, located at 20 Owens Road. I'm going to turn it over to the CEO, Colby Piper.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm Colby Piper from 3P's Dispensary. I'm the CEO, and I have created the vision, and luckily, hopefully today, if we vote correctly, I'll be able to open here in Hackensack. I'm here for any questions or anything. I've seen that you guys reviewed the deck that I have. The company, what our main process is, we're going to be co-packaging for other brands, and we already have contracts for these brands. Our main item that we'll be producing is pre-rolled joints and infused pre-rolled joints. We will also produce solventless concentrates as well as vape cartridges. Those will be our two main items that we will produce, and our third item would be gummies in the future when it comes out. The contracts that we currently have require us to fulfill these joint rolling for these companies, and that's basically what we're here to do.
Okay.
Is it just manufacturing or is it cultivation too?
So in the future, where we love to cultivate, it'll be very good for the business. It'll also be good for Hackensack to add another excise type. But currently, there's not an available resolution for cultivation. So in the future, we would like to present back to this council and speak about cultivation for our business. And that will happen at the same asset at 20 Owens Road as well.
Mm-hmm.
So do you have a list of your potential suppliers then where you're getting your materials?
Yeah, so the way that the contracts are written that we have now, the actual contract that we're writing for, let's say the other MSOs, they provide us all of the material. And we basically put the material together into a joint origami format, whichever one they asked us to do. So we have all of the sourcing done. These MSOs currently have grow facilities that are up and running, and we'll be taking their biomass, which is the least potent material, or what we call waste in cannabis, and producing these pre-rolled joints, edibles, and concentrates.
And within your facility, is everything self-contained as far as the manufacturing process? And is there any concern about odors or emissions or particles?
Right, so all packages,
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think that's better.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
all packages that we receive and leave are already smell-proof in child-safe packaging. With manufacturing, we use the least potent of the materials, so the odor will be very minimal. Our facility also has no windows and only doors, and it's all concrete, so that'll help keep in the smell. And then we will provide any type of ancillary exhaust system or carbon filters that you need to minimize the odor to have no odor.
Is there any emissions to the outside?
Any,
Emissions of smell, odor?
there will be no emissions of smell to the outside.
Anybody else? I'm sorry.
No.
Yeah.
Can you just maybe brief the council in terms of where you are in terms of the Cannabis Regulatory Commission approval?
Okay, so we have our conditional license. The next step after having our conditional license is to present our complete package of investors and everything else, as well as the city resolution of support to the state, and then we would receive our annual license. That process has varied for every individual going through the CRC of timing, but now that the business has slowed down, the industry, the response time is a lot quicker, so it should be about 90 days to receive the annual license.
And you've selected a property in the zone?
Yeah, 20 Owens Road is already located in the cannabis overlay zone that you guys have previously zoned.
It's properly zoned, yes.
Okay.
20 Owens, it's Lasordo, right?
Yeah, this is Lasordo Cheese Factory. When it comes to security, the building's already secured. It's been central, as it already has cameras that are centralized to the local Hackensack Police Department. We'll be adding another level of security, which will provide interior cameras as well as exterior cameras. Those cameras will be will be centralized to the state CRC as well as the Hackensack Police and Fire. The property already has a gate on it for the back, so there's security there. And then in choosing the property, we like the property the best because it's set back behind two buildings, so no one really knows that it's there.
And you have the synergies of the cheese factory and marijuana, so if you get hungry, you're all good. So, I mean, works perfectly.
The good thing about it is the side of the building that we're using was used to be used for sausage manufacturing. So the building was previously USDA approved. We're looking to make it GMP certified, and then get it off and running.
And all deliveries coming and going, as far as the property is concerned? I mean, you have security for when products are
Yeah,
brought in, and could you tell us a little bit about that?
so the products that we bring in, we'll most likely will pick them up. We'll be picking them up with the Sprinter van size vehicle, so nothing too larger than that. The vehicle will be refrigerated, and we would have, I guess, one of our employees with us for the driving based off the state regulations. And then security-wise in our facility, any security that's required by the city, we'll have there as well.
Does that building have a loading zone, or is it
So
small
the
enough that you
building-
just carry it?
So the building currently has 5 loading docks.
Okay.
And we have one, they actually total have 6. We have 1 loading dock, and the building has 5 behind it that Sordo still uses.
So, okay. Anybody else?
Nope, I already had conversation.
No? Okay, thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much.
And just so you're aware, gentlemen, that there is a resolution of municipal support on the agenda tonight for their consideration, so you may want to make sure if you want to stay till that gets decided. But that is going to be on the formal agenda, which is at 8 o'clock tonight. And assuming it's approved, I'll get a signed copy to forward to you to get to the CRC, and we'll go from there.
Real quick, what's your projected revenue?
So the projected revenue right now is, when we get to year 1, we're looking to do about $4 million, which is $90,000 to the state. At full capacity, we're about $20 million, which would be about $370,000 to the city of Hackensack per year.
Thank you.
Is it the same percentage, Steve?
Yes, it's 2%.
2%,
Yeah,
correct.
and we had, because we have another, we have 2 manufacturing licenses, you're the second one, and I think one of the questions came up, because it's easy, we have one dispensary where it's easy, right? They sell to end-use customers, just like any other store, but when it comes to, the purchase of goods, that my understanding is there's regulations to make sure there's not self-dealing and those sort of things to ensure that, we're getting the fair 2% of your purchases and from there.
Yeah, our company is all business-to-business transactions that are tracked by the metric system of the CRC. So we would technically be selling products to Hashery to sell, and those being technically a wholesale format.
They also don't have any other licenses, so they wouldn't be doing any self-dealing.
No, I'm just saying as a hypothetical, I'm not
Yeah,
suggesting you would,
no,
but
no,
just,
yeah.
it's a little bit harder, like you said, if you're selling a marijuana to an end-use customer, it's like a normal transaction versus businesses selling, right? Because you need to buy biomass, like you said.
Correct.
And then you're going to take your product and you're going to sell it to Hashery or whatever it is.
Yes.
So, all those can be, if you wanted to play games with it, it's a little bit
It's-
easier to do that, except my understanding is the CRC
Correct.
has put into place. I'm not suggesting you would,
Yeah,
don't
no,
get me wrong, I'm
understood,
just saying,
understood.
that
The
the
met-
city's not doing this, out of the goodness of their heart. They want to
Correct.
see tax revenue come in to help the community, so that, to make sure that we're getting what we expected, that if you sell your 20 million, that the city gets its, 400,000.
Right, the metric system that is created by the CRC, that is used across multiple states, tracks the product from seed to sale.
They make it pretty hard for things to disappear, which is a good thing.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
So, real quick, I see the building's 20,000 square feet. That's totally utilized by you guys?
No, so if you look at that plan, on the right-hand side is about 4,000 square feet.
Okay.
And we'll be using the right-hand side, and Mark and Lasordo Cheese will be still using their left-hand side.
All right.
In manufacturing, some of these, I have some clients who operate on 2,500 square feet. You'd be surprised when they have the machines running, 24/7. You can operate on a size like that for manufacturing use.
Your product is small, so.
Yeah.
Right. It's about 10 feet line, product line.
Makes it a little easier.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Up next is another presentation. This is, I'd like to call up Ryan Gleason, Greater Bergen Community Action, Anderson Street Historic Neighborhood Preservation Plan, Year 4 update.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council.
Hey, Ryan.
My name is Ryan Gleason. I'm the Associate Vice President of Community Development and Real Estate at Greater Bergen. In coordination with my boss, Mike Lemondola, we act as the coordinators for the MPP program in Hackensack, as well as in neighboring Garfield. Prior to my time at Greater Bergen, I worked for the NJDCA as a grant administrator for the MPP program, which included Hackensack. I'm here tonight to provide an update on the progress of MPP in the Anderson Street Historic Neighborhood as we enter year 4 of this transformative initiative. Just some very brief background on NPP. It's a state-funded initiative designed to support economic development, enhance the visual appeal of communities, and foster stronger economies through strategic investments in what DCA calls threatened but viable commercial districts throughout the state. Each grantee, municipal grantee, is awarded $125,000 a year over the course of a 5-year implementation plan with a 20% municipal match. By targeting specific areas for revitalization, MPP is designed to mobilize creative implementations that create attractive, walkable, and thriving business districts that are set to improve the quality of life for Hackensack's residents and visitors. There are currently only 40 municipalities in the state that have an MPP designation, and Hackensack was awarded in 2022. Since its designation, Hackensack MPP is focused on a multi-pronged approach that combines beautification, public art, small business support, and quality of life improvements. And thanks to the strong collaboration between the City of Hackensack, Greater Bergen, business owners, and residents, the program has already delivered tangible results in making Anderson Street a more inviting and vibrant destination. Just some key accomplishments from our Year 3 improvement plan. Our beautification efforts, we purchased and installed 44 new planters along Anderson Street and in Anderson Street Park. And we purchased and installed 20 Belgian block tree belts in all the tree pits along Anderson Street. Our quality of life green team, we dedicate a certain amount of Greater Bergen's buildings and ground staff to walk the neighborhood, maintain the planters, water them, pick up litter off the sidewalks, and just be a calming presence in the neighborhood. We run a storefront facade improvement program. Last year, we improved the storefront facade at 75 and 81 Anderson Street, which I believe is the Tudor building on the corner, preserving the architectural character of the district. And finally, we did a public art installation in the fall and winter. We partnered with Hackensack's Main Street Alliance and John Peters. We installed 4 life-sized bronze sculptures in Anderson Street Park from the Seward Johnson Atelier Sculpture Garden. And it was great to see people taking selfies with them and all the kids and people doing double takes in the park. While these initiatives have enhanced the neighborhood's character and walkability, we continue to face some small challenges, including a continual engagement from the local business owners and just some minor ongoing safety things. We had some vandalism in the park this year. However, we are committed to and remain steadfast in our efforts to overcome these obstacles. So what do we have planned for year 4? We're going to continue to build upon the successes that we've had thus far, including putting an additional $30,000 into the storefront facade improvement grant initiative. We already have 2 applicants who are very eager to get started, and we think we have a third. We're going to continue to invest in the quality of life green team, and we purchased 44 new planters last year, so we need to have them watered and make sure they're well maintained. We're going to add an additional seasonal planting. We did that last year in Garfield. We did a holiday planting. We don't want the planters to be empty during the winter time, so we're doing some holiday things in the planters for this year. And we want to do another public art installation. We haven't really decided on what it's going to be yet. We want to collaborate with the city, with the community, maybe look for local artists to participate in that. But we want to do another public art installation in Anderson Street Park. So for this year, the total budget for NPP Anderson Street is $160,000. $125,000 will be directly from DCA. $25,000 is the required municipal match, and GBCA will put in an additional $10,000. So in conclusion, Hackensack's participation in the MPP program is a testament to the city's commitment to revitalization And thank you very much, and I welcome any questions.
People loved the statues. I mean, people came and actually asked us a few times, what happened to them? You know, they didn't realize
Yes.
they were on loan and they were then missing, so I think it's nice you're gonna do. Now, in the past, have you done any other work in the park?
No, we haven't.
Yeah, that, I mean, that's
Oh,
something
well,
to think about for our
we
last
did
year.
We did new benches, I
Okay.
believe, and we put the planters in there. And we did purchase new garbage cans, which match
The
the ones
garbage
along
cans are
Main
new.
Street.
Yep.
Yeah, I think, but we wanted to do some work in the fountain, remember?
Yeah, the fountain might.
You know, like, think
Yeah, we
about
could
for
look
next
into
year.
that as well.
You know, because it's, you know, we want the park to be used and pretty, and it could use, I think, a little bit more sprucing up if we have, you know, maybe for next year's target. It sounds like you kind of
Absolutely.
spent up on this year.
But the street overall looks
Much better.
much better than
Right.
it did 3 years ago. So we thank you for that. It's
It's
really
great to
nice.
hear.
I mean, the crosswalks, you know, the planters, the hanging plants.
And the garbage
People-
cans.
people
we needed
notice
it
these
all.
things.
Yeah, we needed it all.
Yeah, we-
I got a question. Do you replace the garbage cans around the park?
What's that?
The garbage can?
In the park, did you replace the
park.
garbage cans
We
in the
have
park?
not replaced them yet. They're sitting in our warehouse.
Okay.
Because of how they're designed, we need to pour some concrete, and the weather has not permitted us to do that, and we want to connect with DPW and everyone, because I know there's water and electric that runs under that to the fountain. And we just want to make sure all our placements are okay, but we do have them, and we're going to install them in the spring.
Okay,
Great. Yep, good job.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank
that was
you.
a wonderful grant, so we're enjoying it.
Thank you. Next up is a discussion regarding the 2024 City Manager's Year-End Report, which I provided a copy to everybody. It'll also be available on the website prior to the end of this week for public view. Also on for tonight is a ordinance regarding restricted access to various city facilities to safeguard records as recommended by the Mel and JIF, which are our insurance companies. And last but not least, I'll call up Chris Wheaton, our city engineer, for the combined sewer and construction projects update.
Evening, everybody. Okay, jumping into our sewer and construction projects. Our overview is on this sheet here. The only thing that's really changed here is that we are now complete with the East Kennedy Pump Station generator replacement. We also did accept bids on a number of projects, and those are in evaluation right now. In our combined sewer separation projects, again, we're currently working in the pink area. The Anderson Street drainage area is coming to a close. We will get into that in a moment in the slides. The next project is in the light blue area.
The west of the rail, what is that? Where are we talking about that? Were you saying it's, I can't see.
Yeah, the west of the rail continues up Clay Street and encompasses portions of First and Second.
So is that the area around the high school?
I don't think this part includes
Which
the high
color,
school.
which color on here, that would help? Which of the colors is that, is the west of the
The
rail?
light blue is the west of rail.
All right, I'm trying to see, so what
I-
street, like what's
Yeah,
the,
so I,
can you see?
let me look at my.
Anybody tell by looking
I
at it?
think that's
They from Paseo.
That's Berdan and all those, and up to Clay. A block before.
Yeah, I think
Clay is the
the
blue.
high school is just across the railroad tracks there, right?
So this is the Stanley
Right.
area.
And
This
where's the
is
high
up
school?
behind it more. The high school is over here on the other side of the tracks.
Yeah,
Other side,
yeah,
the
yeah,
center.
yeah.
Okay, we got it.
Okay.
Okay. So on the Anderson Drainage Area Project, as I stated, we are just wrapping this project up. We've just been waiting for weather to break, which is happening now. We expect to be mobilizing the end of this month, remobilizing to do the concrete work for the final curbs and sidewalks on the streets indicated, Clay Street, West Railroad Ave, and Stanley Place. And then following those sidewalks and curbs, we will do final paving and site restoration, including seeding. On the East Kennedy Pump Station generator, the generator is now in service. It has been tested with its automatic transfer switch, and all final inspections have been performed and passed. And city personnel have been trained in the maintenance and operation of the generator, and labels have been added for ease of maintenance and operation. Another project is our Jefferson Street pipe repairs, which is extensively a trenchless repair with cured-in-place liner intended to be placed in the pipes. We have done some initial television inspection, and we have identified a portion that probably will have to be excavated instead of trenchless for about 200 feet. We are working on doing a more comprehensive CCTV in that segment because we could not get all the way through. So we'll be scheduling that for an overnight period, and then we will proceed with the lining and decisions for repair of that suspect area. At East Kennedy Pump Station, we also have been working on improvements for the station, as it is rather dated, and we need some pump improvements there. We will be installing 2 new variable frequency axial flow pumps for large events, as well as 2 new centrifugal pumps for smaller rain flows. And that'll help to protect the large pumps from starts and stops, frequent starts and stops. And we will install new controls. We also will do some work on the screening facility coming into the pumping area, and some other work as shown on the slide
Have we made
here.
any progress on this, Chris?
We have made progress, yes. We are, I think there's a bond ordinance on for this evening, if I understand, not tonight, but upcoming to fund the improvements here.
We talked last time, I asked you, like, at least getting these worn rakes done quickly will help a lot, I think.
We have a plan mapped out, but we can't do any, yes, we are limited in terms of what we can do until the funding is in place. In parks, we are working this week to complete the connection across the street, across Polyfly Road, as shown here. So we expect this work to be completed today and tomorrow, and then we will shortly thereafter work on the final restoration of the park and seeding. Also in parks, Johnson Park Sports Complex, we opened the second contract, or the second bid package, the second set of bids for the site and utility contract for Johnson Park. So we have 2 contracts in play, the Fieldhouse contract, which was awarded in December, and then this site and utility contract will be proceeding to award, I expect at the next council meeting. We also did, on Johnson Park, complete the negotiation of the administrative annex area for inclusion in this project, and so I believe that's on for council approval this evening. Our other park project is Fashini Park, Fields 8, 9, and 10. The bids were opened here on February 26th, and includes field improvements for Fields 8, 9, and 10. This work will probably start in early July after the city 4th of July celebration. In roads and traffic, we also opened bids for Lot A improvements, which is resurfacing and striping and curbing and sidewalks around the parking lot. I'm trying to recall the name of the market. Is it Seatown? That's right, Seatown, thank you. So we have reviewed those bids and made a recommendation. This also, I think, will be on for award at the next council meeting later this month. In roads and traffic, we have selected the contractor for the installation of speed humps on Kaplan Ave, and we will be starting this project at the end of this month with the contractor Smith Sondy. And again, a reminder, please help to keep our sewer system healthy and clean. What you see on this, it's not a pretty job that we have sometimes. And on the right is what these wipes do to our facilities. So this is the Court Street screening facility during the rain event last week. We've been somewhat fortunate to have had less precipitation of late, and no heavy rains, but nonetheless, the debris and material that shouldn't be in the sewers causes havoc with our sewer system, increases maintenance, and increases costs to the operation of our sewer system.
Okay.
And that's all I have. Any questions?
Chris,
Steph?
is there a bid award date for Fashini or no?
We're talking with the contractor right now because we did go in for supplemental funding with Green Acres for Fashini Park.
Okay.
So we'd like to kind of maximize that window so that we can do more with the project. So we're not going to rush
Yeah.
it. We're just going to
Okay, thank
give
you.
it a little bit of time.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, questions, anybody? All right, good, thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
That's all I have now.
Okay, need a motion to open to the public, please.
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone from the public would like to speak, please come forward to the microphone.
Good evening, Marty Smith, 245 Prospect Avenue.
Morning, sir, or afternoon, sir.
At the February meeting, I asked what parameters were used by the council to determine not to lower the speed limit on Summit Avenue between Passaic and Spring Valley Avenue. At that point, Mr. Caruso said that the county had made that decision. So I'm confused. If in fact that section of Summit Avenue comes under city jurisdiction, why did county make that decision for lowering the speed limit?
I was under the impression you said traffic.
Our traffic.
Our traffic.
Yeah, that's what I
did
was
it.
gonna say, yeah.
The
Our
county-
traffic- Our traffic, the county only made their decision based on their part of that roadway. Our traffic division did not recommend decreasing the speed limit for our section of the roadway.
You know, we did a survey on that section of Summit Avenue by the Bergen County Sheriff's Department for a week's period, and over 85,000 vehicles were counted in that 1 week's time
You're talking
using
Spring
Summit
Valley and
Avenue.
Passaic? Between Spring Valley and Passaic, you're saying?
Between Passaic and Spring Valley Avenue. That's a lot of traffic. I mean, to begin with, 35-mile-an-hour speed limit is fast, but the Bergen County survey showed that the average speed limit of cars traveling was 38 miles an hour, which is, I think, a dangerous speed limit. But I don't know how we could allow that type of speed limit to continue to exist on Summit Avenue. So, but I think we're beating a dead horse here. So,
Well, not necessarily, because I've had conversations, and I said in the past, we're gonna go be working on pedestrian safety is gonna be big for us, and we know you're big on it yourself, Mr. Smith. So if we do decide to put crosswalks on Summit Avenue between
so
Passaic and
there
Spring Valley.
are 8 intersections with
I
no
understand that.
crosswalks.
I don't know that all 8 would have it, but if we were to put crosswalks, I think the police department, traffic division may have a different opinion on the speed limit. That's a good possibility. So, especially if we fight for it. So,
Okay.
but that said, you gotta realize, putting in a new crosswalk isn't just painting a white line. They're expensive because they're ADA curbs, all that stuff has to be done. So they're, you're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars to put in a couple crosswalks. Like
I had,
4 or 5.
I had occasion to be driving on Atlantic Street the other day by the Atlantic Street Garage, which is on the north side of Atlantic Street. And there is a stanchion in the middle of the street that says drivers,
Doesn't belong there. We didn't put it there, the hospital put it there, shouldn't be there, it's not a crosswalk.
no crosswalk.
All right.
It's not a
all right.
crosswalk.
The mayor talked to me about that in
And I would
closed session.
never, ever put a crosswalk there because the sun glare in the morning coming down Atlantic, you can't see anybody. Do me a favor, if you're up early, take a ride down Atlantic in the morning.
How about cars coming the other way?
Well, cars coming the other way can see
Westbound.
them. They can see them, but if you're going eastbound, it's unbelievable, especially this time of year.
I don't think that's a good enough excuse not to have a
Well,
crosswalk in.
not seeing people is a pretty good excuse for me. I've almost hit people myself, so.
The last thing I'd like to mention is the traffic device that was installed on Prospect and Atlantic. This huge device, which I think is overkill for that location. I mean, it must have cost 4 or 5 times what the beacons on Prospect and Thompson Street are, which are curbside. And I think the better approach would have been simply to install 2 flashing stop signs on Prospect Avenue that would have served the same purpose and protected pedestrians as this thing does, because there are flashing yellows, there are flashing reds, and then there is a solid red, which means traffic is going to be backed up and can't continue on that solid red until it goes off.
I don't disagree with you, though, you mentioned putting stop signs, that would also back up traffic as well. What I would like to see is the same exact ones that we have on Thompson, because I think it's a bit of overkill. I haven't seen them operating yet, but seems a lot. And to be honest with you, the busier crosswalk is Thompson, not
Yes, it is.
Atlantic, so
Much busier.
much busier.
Trying to get to the hospital.
Yep,
Okay, thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, Council.
Good evening.
Ed Cabral, Kaplan Avenue. I know you guys are about to start the project of speed bumps, but the speed beds where you have it situated is nowhere near the bottom of the hill, it's at the top of the hill.
Okay.
So the way I saw the plan was Summit, Prospect, 2 speed bumps, and no speed bumps going down the hill to Parkway, and then from Parkway to Polyfly.
I'd have to look at it, but I want to say the reason why is engineering said they couldn't put it on the hill portion. They can't have speed humps on a hill for whatever traffic calming reason that is. They can't do that.
So you're going from South Prospect to Parkway, there's no speed bumps? Only
South
at the top, only on
Prospect
the
to-
top of the hill?
Only on the top of the
So
hill?
your first speed bump, it's maybe 200 feet before the stop sign?
Okay,
And then the other one, it's 5 houses down, so it doesn't, you
Okay.
don't hit the crest.
right.
Nothing going down where the majority of the speeding goes on?
Nothing from the top of the hill to the bottom down to
No.
Polyfly.
You guys decided to put it on Summit and Kaplan, and I wasn't advocating for that. That doesn't have a lot of speeding. That's a very short street. The speeding is from Polyfly to Parkway to South Prospect. That's where all the speeding goes up and down.
Okay. All right, let me look at that tomorrow again and look at it and see. I'll speak to Neglia. They were the engineers on that.
They
Yeah.
weren't. They didn't come tonight. They
Absolutely.
just figured I would advocate for them as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
when they
I'll,
looked at it, they were like, well, most of the speeding is down the hill and up there.
right.
Yeah, and people have a tendency to step on the gas when you're going uphill.
Yeah.
So, the other thing is, did the signs are up yet? No? The no
Nothing.
left turn out yet?
Nope.
No, it was just, last week, it was just approved by the county. They're
Alright.
slow.
So,
So
yeah, we gotta go. to the
hopefully
county,
it
so.
will,
Yeah, of course.
they'll have it
Alright.
there
They're
shortly.
happy we're getting the speed bumps. I
All
think
right.
it'll slow down.
Let's see what we can
everything.
do about getting something on that hill. So,
Yeah, the hill's the most important thing.
I agree with you, Ed.
Okay.
Yep. Thank you, sir. Next person, please.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good evening.
My name is Kareem Jacobson. I live at 374 D Wolf Place. I'm here tonight to talk about the parking that's on D Wolf Place. Currently, some of the houses on that block does not have driveways, and I've seen an increase of parking. Whereas on Berry Street, they have permit parking, so when D Wolf becomes flooded with people coming from Prospect to park on our block, there's no room for us to park who don't have driveways.
Right.
And then we can't park on Berry because it's permit parking there. So that's the reason why I'm here tonight, because there's no parking. Like after 9 o'clock at night, there's nowhere for us to park on our block. And not every house on D Wolf Place have a driveway. But we do see, people coming from Prospect and parking their cars and leaving it for days in, and it's just an increase of it.
So can we look at the Wolf? I don't know why
For a
we didn't-
resident-only parking?
Yeah, because I don't know why we didn't do it when we did the other ones. Was there a reason, or?
That was, the Wolf wasn't included when they did Stanley Place and those other streets, and
No,
then we
so
had to,
like-
we had to rescind it because it was causing too many problems, and
Right.
the Wolf wasn't part of that, Ally?
No. So right
No.
now, there's no permit parking.
It was, and then we rescinded it. Yeah, that's what it was. That's what I figured it was
So
on
why,
there.
why was it rescinded?
Because if I remember correctly, there was a couple of the streets, and we only cut it back to just Stanley, because what was happening is people were people on Berry, like he's saying, people on Berry, and I believe on Passaic were parking in those areas. In other words, it was just moving the problem to the
From
next
one place
block.
to another.
Yeah. So, but I will look into it
Let's see
again.
what kind of relief we can get,
Yeah.
all right?
Thank you so
Yep,
much. I
you're
appreciate
welcome. Sure. Good evening, sir.
I'm Greg Dobbin. I live on the same street. And I was in touch with, and I seen her personally, Lieutenant Capadonna.
Okay.
She told me there was some construction going there. However, that was halted.
On DeWolf?
Yes.
Yeah.
None
And,
to my knowledge, you?
There's commercial trucks parked in this.
Oh, sewer, possibly sewer work. But,
No, there's overnight plumbing trucks parked there. There's
Commercial vehicles, in other words?
commercial
Yeah.
vehicles.
Are they
overnight. So
there?
they did a
Cameras?
survey or something, but they did it in the daytime.
Around the street, they were
Yeah.
doing, they were doing work there.
They did a survey, but they only did it in the daytime. Okay,
So they're
there's a-
leaving their trucks there overnight?
Yes.
Yes.
There's an
They
influx
gotta
of,
take- they gotta-
Do you know what that is,
Trucks
Vinny?
can't stay on the.
Do you know, Chris?
residential
Will
street.
work have any under Wolf?
We'll look into it,
find
because
out.
there shouldn't be any commercial trucks parked on the
No.
street
Not on
anywhere in
the street.
Hackensack. So
okay, but what about the influx of the people coming from,
that we're gonna
That
work
we're
on.
gonna work on.
We're gonna
Yeah,
work on
that we
making
gotta
it
work on
resident
separately.
sticker.
okay.
All right?
That's what we asked for, thank you.
Yep, you got
You
it.
know, I saw Nixle things that parts of DeWolf were closed for a while, but I thought it was city work, I
Might have been
assumed.
camera work.
What?
It could have been our camera work.
CCTV?
Yeah. Anyone else from the
Anyone
public? Seeing none, motion to close to the public?
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed. So we'll see everybody at 8 o'clock.
Close the
Thank you.
meeting.
Close the executive.
Motion to close the executive session.
Does Steve have to join?
Steve, you have,
Yeah,
You're in executive session.
Yeah, I guess if we're done, we did, as usual, hold a closed executive session, during which, as usual, we did discuss a number of lawsuits, including the Ulysses case, the McCarthy case, and the Leac case, which I am happy to announce we won that case that involved a member of the Hackensack Police Department who had filed a lawsuit against the city and was dismissed by a federal judge. So, positive news.
thank you.
Thanks.
I appreciate it. So motion to
Motion.
close the executive
Offer.
session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion to close the council of the whole?
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, none opposed. See everybody in 17, 18 minutes.
Great.
Good evening, everybody. Madam Clerk?
This meeting is being held in accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act, NJSA 10:4-6 et sec, notice of which was sent to the record in the Star Ledger and was posted on the municipal bulletin board.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Here.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Here.
Councilmember Carroll.
Here.
Mayor LaBrus.
Here. Would everybody please rise for the flag salute? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Tonight, there are no proclamations or presentations, so we'll go right to the city manager's report. Vince?
No, we
Minutes
have,
approval.
minutes. Approval of
Oh, I'm
minutes.
sorry, approval of the minutes,
Okay.
my bad. Need a motion to accept the minutes of the February 25th regular meeting?
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed. And now to the manager.
Thank you, Mayor. A four-way stop sign has been installed at Anderson Street in Clarendon. The city is looking into traffic concerns at Anderson Street and Prospect. Targeted enforcement will be continued in these areas. Hackensack Recreation is hiring summer camp counselors. Camp begins June 30th. You can apply at the Recreation Department. Registration for camp opens up on April 1st. Hackensack Recreation Soccer Spring Training registration is open. The program runs from April 21st through June 12th. Contact Recreation for more information. Youth Spring Track registration is open for ages 7 to 14. It runs from March 18th to May 29th. Hackensack Baseball and Softball registration is now open. Season begins in April. Baseball and softball coaches are still needed. Contact Recreation for more information. The Health Department is hosting their annual wellness journey. Register in person at the kickoff Wellness Fair Saturday, March 22nd from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Civic Center. The 8-week program includes free Zumba classes, weekly 1-mile walks, and much, much more. The City of Hackensack joins communities across New Jersey in mourning the tragic loss of Newark police officer shot and killed in the line of duty this past weekend. He dedicated his life to serving and protecting others, and his passing is a heartbreaking reminder of the dangers our law enforcement officers face every day. We extend our deepest condolences to his family, friends, and the entire Newark Police Department during this difficult time, and send our prayers to the second officer who was injured during the incident. On March 26th, the Hack Pack will be hosting a women's forum on career development. And last but not least, on Sunday, March 16th at 3 p.m. at the Hack Pack, there will be a celebration of life concert in honor of Eddie Decker. It'll be presented by Tony DeSere, Valerie Simpson, and John Pizzarelli. See hackpack.org for further information. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Okay, with that, we'll go to new business. Resolution 117-25.
Say resolution for final adoption of ordinance number 9-2025, an ordinance formally accepting the deed of dedication from Sinceri 211 LLC to the City of Hackensack for property, which is Block 702, Lot 2, commonly known as the Alfred and Mary Sinceri Garden within Court Street Plaza, for public park and open space purposes, and to authorize erection of improvements within. This ordinance has been published according to law and now calls for a public hearing.
Need a motion to open to the public?
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed? Anyone who'd like to speak to this ordinance and this ordinance only, please come forward. Seeing no members from the public, motion to close.
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed? Need a motion to adopt the ordinance.
Offer.
Second.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed?
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Hackensack County of Bergen and State of New Jersey that ordinance number 9-2025 has passed the second and final reading and is hereby adopted.
Thank you. Resolution 118-25.
Say resolution for the introduction of ordinance 10-2025, an ordinance to amend chapter 35 of the Code of the City of Hackensack Records Public to establish the new section 35-12 entitled City Buildings Restricted Areas to Safeguard Records.
Need a motion to adopt, to introduce the ordinance.
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed.
Be it resolved that the above ordinance being ordinance 10-2025, as introduced, is now passed on first reading, and that said ordinance shall be considered for final passage at a meeting to be held on March 25th, 2025, at 8:00 p.m. or as soon thereafter as the matter can be reached at the regular meeting place of the City Council, and at such time and place all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance, and that the city clerk be and she is hereby authorized and directed to publish said ordinance according to law with a notice of its introduction and passage on first reading, and of the time and place when and where said ordinance will be further considered for final passage.
Thank you. Resolution 119-25.
Say resolution for the introduction of ordinance number 11-2025, an ordinance to amend chapter 170 of the Code of the City of Hackensack Vehicles and Traffic, prohibiting parallel parking opposite to the direction of traffic in chapter 170-6.
Need a motion, please.
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed.
Be it resolved that the above ordinance being ordinance 11-2025, as introduced, is now passed on first reading, and that said ordinance shall be considered for final passage at a meeting to be held on March 25th, 2025, at 8:00 p.m. or as soon thereafter as the matter can be reached at the regular meeting place of the City Council, and at such time and place all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance, and the city clerk be and she is hereby authorized and directed to publish said ordinance according to law with a notice of its introduction and passage on first reading, and of the time and place when and where said ordinance will be further considered for final passage.
Thank you. Resolution 121-25. I'm sorry, 120-25.
This is for the introduction of ordinance number 12-2025, an ordinance adopting the former Sears site redevelopment plan within the former Sears site redevelopment plan area consisting of block 405, lot 3.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed.
Be it resolved that the above ordinance being ordinance 12-2025 is introduced, does now pass on first reading, and that said ordinance shall be considered for final passage at a meeting to be held on March 25th, 2025, at 8:00 p.m. or as soon thereafter as the matter can be reached at the regular meeting place of the City Council, and at such time and place all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance, and that the city clerk be and she is hereby authorized and directed to publish said ordinance according to law with a notice of its introduction and passage on first reading, and of the time and place when and where said ordinance will be further considered for final passage.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Wait,
No, that's done. That was the ending, right?
you gotta go to the next one, 121.
121-25.
For the introduction of ordinance number 13-2025, an ordinance amending the 132-148 Main Street redevelopment plan for the redevelopment area consisting of block 302, lots 1, 2, and 27. Now we need it.
Need a motion, thank you.
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed.
Be it resolved that the above ordinance being ordinance 13-2025 is introduced, is now passed on first reading, and that said ordinance shall be considered for final passage at a meeting to be held on March 25th, 2025, at 8:00 p.m. or as soon thereafter as the matter can be reached at the regular meeting place of the City Council, and at such time and place all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance, and that the city clerk be and she is hereby authorized and directed to publish said ordinance according to law, with a notice of its introduction and passage on first reading, and of the time and place when and where said ordinance will be further considered for final passage.
Thank you. Resolution 122-25.
And this is a resolution authorizing tax refunds for state board judgments, duplicate payments, and veterans refund.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed. Resolution 123-25.
It's a resolution authorizing tax appeal attorney to settle the cases on the attached list that were dated from March 3rd, 2025, that were scheduled for trial or settlement.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
None opposed. Resolution 124-25.
It's a resolution authorizing 100% veterans deduction for 90 Prospect Avenue, Block 237, Lot 1.01.
Need a motion?
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed. Resolution 125-25.
It's a resolution authorizing another 100% veterans deduction for 71 Coles Avenue, Block 589, Lot 23.
Need a motion?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call? Or no, next one's a roll call. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
None opposed. Resolution 126-25.
This is a resolution authorizing municipal support for 3P Dispensary LLC to receive a Class II cannabis manufacturer license from the New Jersey Cannabis Regulatory Commission to operate within the city of Hackensack.
Need a motion, please.
Offer.
Second.
Need a roll call on this.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
No.
Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 127-25.
It's a resolution approving the memorandum of understanding between the City of Hackensack and the Hackensack Uniformed Fire Officer Association, IAFF Local 3172, AFL-CIO CLC.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed. Resolution 128-25.
This is a resolution approving the memorandum of agreement between the City of Hackensack and the Hackensack Professional Firefighters, IAFF Local 2081.
Need a motion?
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed. Resolution 129-25.
It's a resolution for approval of amendment to the 2025 temporary budget.
Need a motion?
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed. Resolution 130-25.
It's a resolution for the authorization of accrued time payout of $80,639.47 to retired Police Sergeant Brian Ziegelhofer.
Need a motion?
Offer.
Second.
Need a roll call, please.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Councilmember Carroll.
Stay.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 131-25.
It's a resolution for the authorization for accrued time payout of $30,239.95 to retiree Editha Garcia.
Need a motion?
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed. Resolution 132-25.
It's a resolution authorizing the awarding of a co-op contract for the purchase of 14 automated license plate reader network cameras and associated equipment for the Hackensack Police Department.
That was,
Need a motion.
need a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilman Pataglia.
Aye.
Councilmember Carroll.
Stay.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 133-25.
It's a resolution authorizing the awarding of state contracts for the purchase of upfitting equipment for 2 recently purchased fire vehicles.
Need a motion, please.
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed. 134-25.
It's a resolution authorizing change order number 2 to HQW Architects LLC for architectural service related to Johnson Park Sports Complex.
Need a motion, please.
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed. Resolution 135-25.
Resolution awarding change order number 1 to Suburban Engineering for Clay Street Combined Sewer Overflow, CSO separation, west of the rail, bid phase and construction services.
Need a motion, please.
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Resolution 136-25.
It's a resolution authorizing change order number 1 to APS Contracting, Inc. for construction of the Johnson Park Sports Complex.
Need a motion, please.
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed. Resolution 137-25.
It's a resolution authorizing payment of bills.
Need a motion?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
I abstain. So, before we go any further with the consent agenda, I have, we're going to pull out, let's see, just one, 143-25 we're going to pull.
Anybody else? That's just it.
Anybody else have any conflicts with the consent agenda?
No.
No? Okay. That's it.
Okay. The following items are considered to be routine in nature and will be enacted in one motion. Any items requiring expenditure are supported by a certification of availability of funds. Any item requiring discussion will be removed from the consent agenda, and consent agenda items will be reflected in full in the minutes, including any exceptions and/or additions. The consent agenda consists of Resolution 138-25, which is a resolution authorizing person-to-person, place-to-place liquor license transfer from Tricolor Inc. to Doherty Raman Hackensack LLC for license 022333-064-003. Resolution 139-25 is a resolution authorizing a person-to-person, place-to-place liquor license transfer for Ellie Chewbacca to J. Izzy 1081 LLC for license number 0223-33-034-8. Resolution 140-25 is a resolution authorizing Anderson Street Historic District Neighborhood Preservation Program Year 4 Implementation Plan. Resolution 141-25 is a resolution in support of New Jersey Climate Superfund Act. Resolution 142-25 is a resolution authorizing release of escrow funds for multiple properties. Resolution 144-25 is a resolution authorizing raffle licenses. And resolution 145-25 is a resolution authorizing board and commission appointment.
Okay.
We need a motion for
Need a
that.
motion for the consent agenda as it was read.
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. Now we need 143-25.
143-25 is a resolution authorizing leave of absence without pay for Alan D. Leone, Police Lieutenant.
Need a motion, please.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Councilmember Carroll.
Stay.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. So before I open to the public, I'm going to make a brief statement. I know why most of the people are here tonight about the early voting. We did consider it. We had discussions on it. We checked with the only other town in Bergen County who has a May election this year, which is Lyndhurst. They are not doing early voting. This council, the majority of this council, feels that there's plenty of ways to vote. You have mail-in voting at any time. You can take and drop your ballot off in a drop box. Not to mention the polls are open that Tuesday. So this council has decided not to allow early voting, and I'm sure we'll hear from the public now. So I need a motion to open to the public.
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed. So with that, anybody from the public would like to speak, please come forward, give your name to the clerk, and you will have 3 minutes. Thank you.
Good evening, Council. Mayor LaBrus, esteemed City Council. Thank you for giving me the time to speak today. My name is Courtney Johnson Suffern, and I'm the president of the Bergen County NAACP. I'm here to advocate for a critical issue that affects the fairness and accessibility to our elections, the implementation of early voting for the upcoming May election and possibly all future elections in Hackensack. Our democracy is built on the principle that every single citizen should have the opportunity to vote. However, for many Hackensack residents, voting on Election Day is not always a viable option. Work schedules, family obligations, and other personal challenges often make it difficult to get to the polls on a single day. Early voting provides a solution to this problem and ensures that all our residents, have a fair chance to participate in the electoral process. Early voting is not just a convenience, it's a fundamental right. By allowing residents to vote before Election Day, we are ensuring that every voice in our community can be heard, regardless of personal circumstances. This is especially important for working families, seniors, and individuals with disabilities who may find it particularly difficult to vote on Election Day. I want to stress that by not supporting early voting, we are in effect in placing barriers in ways of citizens who are trying to exercise the right to vote. This, in its simplest form, would be voter suppression. When people are denied the opportunity to vote due to preventable obstacles, it undermines the very foundation of our democracy. By adopting an ordinance to support early voting, Hackensack would not only make a decision to make elections more accessible, but they would also stand as a model to other communities, especially ones you've already consulted with, showing that we prioritize inclusivity, fairness, and the empowerment of every voter. As president of the Bergen County NAACP, I have witnessed firsthand how important it is for all individuals to have equal access to the ballot box. We cannot afford to let anyone be disenfranchised simply because they cannot make it to the polls on a single day. Every vote is a step in the right direction for ensuring every voice is heard. I urge the council to reconsider, to pass an ordinance that would allow early voting in Hackensack. Let's work together to ensure that every resident has an equal opportunity to cast their vote regardless of personal circumstance. This is a voting rights issue, not a campaign issue. Thank you for your time and your consideration. I look forward to your reconsideration.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson. Appreciate it. Ma'am?
Amy Bullock, Second Vice President of the Bergen County NAACP and Co-Chair of the Political Action Committee. Hackensack City Council members. The National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, also known as the NAACP, calls on state legislators to champion the expansion of voting rights, focusing on dismantling barriers that disproportionately affect the Black community and communities of color. It is the position of the NAACP that early voting must be championed and supported. Millions of New Jersey voters have taken advantage of in-person early voting since its inception in 2021. Reports indicate that almost 1.2 million voters cast in-person ballots ahead of Election Day in the November 2024 election. The 2020 census data posted on the Bergen County website shows Hackensack, Teaneck, and Inglewood as having the largest African American populations in Bergen County, respectively, and Hackensack also having the largest Hispanic or Latino population in Bergen County. Early voting increases accessibility and opportunity for residents to participate in the election process. As elected officials who allegedly represent the democracy that this nation was founded on, you have a duty and responsibility to those you represent to work towards increased voter education and engagement, including allowing for early voting. In a city where minorities are in fact the majority, and given that the Hackensack City Council has yet to take action to institute early voting, it is the position of the Bergen County NAACP that the City Council is engaging in voter suppression of historically marginalized and disenfranchised communities of color. Not allowing for early voting limits accessibility and opportunity for residents to engage in the election process. It is the position of the Bergen County NAACP that the Hackensack City Council take immediate steps to pass an ordinance that provides for early voting in the May general election at up to 3 public locations for a total of 4 days, including Election Day, in the city of Hackensack, as per NJSA 1915A-1 permits. If action cannot be taken tonight, we strongly encourage the council to consider calling emergency meetings to follow the process of a first reading, second reading with a public hearing, and a vote to pass the ordinance as to allow for implementation of early voting in the May 2025 election. Thank you.
Thank you.
Stop. No, I think that's the other one. I think it's the other one.
Kasim Gaines, good evening.
Evening.
As you know, under New Jersey state law since 2022, voters in every state, county, and partisan municipal election are entitled to the option of early voting. Voters in nonpartisan municipal May elections, a small percentage of statewide voters, are only eligible for early voting if the existing governing body requests it by ordinance. On February 18th, I submitted a letter to the city clerk on behalf of myself, Agatha Toomey, Roberto Diaz, Phil Carroll, and Sonia Clark Collins, who are all candidates in the upcoming municipal election, requesting that the council take action at its February 25th meeting to institute early voting. As I said at the time, this is a nonpartisan issue. This is a non-controversial issue. This is about offering our residents the same opportunities people have in every other Bergen County municipality, I suppose, save for Lyndhurst, at absolutely no cost to the city because the state foots the bill. This is a win-win for everybody. However, I was disappointed to see that it was not on the docket for the last meeting, this meeting, and by your statement here today. At the last meeting, no one from the council weighed in on this issue after I spoke. The city attorney said it was an open issue to be considered and that you would look at it from a legal sense. But the statute is clear, and it was enacted to afford voters expanded opportunities to vote. This is not a radical idea. 4 years ago, individuals currently sitting on the council voted by mail before Election Day, presumably because it was more convenient for them to do so. The city attorney suggested last week that people who want to vote early should vote by mail, as was repeated today. Now, that's an answer that confuses me, because it suggests that people should be able to vote early, but only in the way that you prefer they vote, only in a multi-step process. We are a working community. It is easier for Hackensack to vote early on a machine, and I'll prove it to you. In the last election, 18% of people voted by mail, while 25% of Hackensack voted early on machines. That means almost 43% of our voters voted in one way or another early. It would be significant and morally reprehensible for you to deny Hackensack residents of their preferred method of voting early. I don't understand what is difficult about this. There is no cost to the city. Under the statute, the county conducts the early voting process and is reimbursing the state by the state. And so what I would like to know, since this was discussed not in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, since this was decided apparently outside of our public view, I would like to know, I would like for everyone in this room to stand if you are in support of early voting right now, please. Thank you.
That is not appropriate conduct.
Okay. Thank you, folks. I see you. Mr. Gaines, your time is up, but before we move forward, I'm going to
Thank
make
you.
another statement. So, and I actually, Ms. Johnson, and I didn't catch the other young lady's name, but I appreciate your comments, and some of the comments you made make total sense to me, believe me, especially democracy, and everyone has the right to availability, all right? I agree with that 100%. And inclusiveness and fairness are two key words you said, Ms. Johnson, all right? So with that, and I don't know how many people are aware of this, but I'm going to bring it up anyway. So this council believes in open, responsive government, and they're willing to explore the issue. That was where we were with that. But despite the fact that the city's current election system already allows for early voting by mail, however, our opponents, Hackensack United campaign, quickly proved that they are only interested in political gamesmanship when they launched an absolute baseless challenge, excuse me, I have the floor, to remove Mr. Rich, I can't even think of his last name, Serbo, I'm sorry, and this entire, the upcoming team off the ballot on baseless. There is absolutely no reason to do that. So you want democracy. They didn't want an early vote. They wanted no vote. They wanted absolutely no vote. They wanted us all out. Baseless challenge, and everyone came up with a reason. I mean, that's gamesmanship. That's pure politics, all right? We've never done that. We've been up here doing this for a while, and that's totally unfair. And Mr. Gaines, as for you, all right, how much early voting was in your union vote? Was there early?
Can I respond to that?
Just, yes, stay there and respond to me only.
I'll say that. So we actually,
Now, I don't want to explain. Was there an early vote in your union?
Yes, it was open for 5 days.
Okay, because I got information from people. It was open for 3 hours online.
Well, you are incorrect.
Well, please show me different.
Try again.
Okay. That said, like I said before, let me find my place on here, sorry. So we already feel that the integrity of this election has been at risk with trying to remove us from the ballot. And you have to understand, this is an election. It's about fairness. And when you try to take the other team off the ballot, all right, there's nothing, unless you have a legitimate reason, There's nothing fair about that. That has a big effect on a lot of different things. So with that, anybody else from here want to say anything before I open it back to the public?
I'll speak at the end.
Speak at the end, speak at the end. All right, thank you. Next person, please.
Can I respond?
No, I'm sorry, madam, you're only allowed up once, but you can have a representative respond to you if you have somebody here. Next person, Mr. Carroll, are you waiting?
Mr. Mayor, Philip Carroll, Coolidge Place, Deputy Mayor, council members. So you just said a lot of things just now that are untrue, okay? No one tried to remove you from any ballots. We checked to make sure, and Mr. Kleiman, you can comment after if you'd like, to make sure that your paperwork was in order. That's it, just like you checked ours.
That is not true.
So tell me, Mr. Kleinman.
A petition, two challenges were filed
Go
by
ahead.
Hackensack United seeking to remove both Mr. Serbo and every single one of the people who constitute the lacrosse team from the ballot on no grounds whatsoever. They were given opportunity to supplement their response. They did not. The city clerk rejected your petition challenge because it was groundless and baseless. But do not come up here and say that you did not try and kick every single other elected official or candidate off of the ballot this year, because that is exactly what you did.
Okay, so let me ask you this.
Okay.
Did you guys, or have you guys, went door to door and met your people, your constituents of Hackensack in the last few weeks? No. I've met quite, I think, at Aldi's, ShopRite.
Mr. Carroll, you're talking about campaigning now. which
Okay,
has no
it's
relevance
not,
to
well,
this
you
whatsoever.
brought it up. You brought it up.
We were out.
You brought it up.
Yeah, we were out
So
there.
you
That's
hired a
okay.
company to come out and represent the city of Hackensack. Okay?
Represent us team, as a team.
Well, the people that I met
Okay.
were not part of your team. So anyway, let's go beyond that. Let's go to the early voting. You have 5 members of the council sitting right here. I'd like to know what was the majority of votes and who voted not to go with early voting.
Well, Mr. Carroll wasn't here when we discussed it.
Oh,
because
so
Mr.
you never
Carroll-
brought him into the fold with it?
Mr. Carroll was at a wake, came in late to the meeting for the last, I'd say, half hour or so. I'm not sure when you came in, Jer. But, no, when we had discussed it, I brought it up. I said, what's the decision on tonight?
Because I
quick
need to
count.
draft, because if the decision's a yes, I have to draft an ordinance to be clear.
We
Well,
con- we
that's
contacted,
what I'm
excuse me,
saying.
well, 1 second. So we contacted Lyndhurst, which was the only contacted the county. We found there was only one other municipality in Bergen County that had a May election. We spoke with them. We do not want to cause any undue expense, whether it's at any level. Someone pays for it. The state doesn't come out and print money to pay for this. It's quite an expense. So to us, we checked, we did all the checking, we did all the research, we spoke to Lyndhurst multiple times, our clerk, and we followed suit with the only other municipality in Bergen County that has a May election. And neither one of us agreed to have that expense put on anyone in the county, in the state, in the city, because we have the option of early voting by vote by mail, and that's been successful over the last few campaigns. And if you choose to vote in public, you can vote as we've done for many, many years on Election Day. So those options are open to everyone who should need them. And that was the decision that the majority of this council, and I'm sorry, Jerry, you weren't there for that vote, but the 4 of us all agreed that we would align ourselves with the other municipality and do it. That's our choice. That's why we're
She has
sitting
the
here.
floor, please.
That's our choice. That's why we're sitting here. So we made that
Okay,
decision.
so that's what you're saying. So Councilman Carroll was not here. Councilman Bataglia was not here.
No, he was
One
here.
was
He
absent.
was here. He was here.
Hold on, we go back. I'm asking you, can you all tell me how you voted? The 3 of you were here most of the time.
So was Leo.
I'm lost because we were.
We don't know what you're talking about.
I
Leo
need
was
to
in this
know,
discussion.
out of the 5, how was the vote? 3-2, 2 to 4.
Why, sir,
Make it
why
easy.
don't you just ask a question? You can ask a
That's the
simple,
question.
you can ask a
How
simple.
was the vote
You can ask
between
a
the
simple,
council?
you can ask a simple question right now. You
I
can
did.
you can simply say who supports it and who doesn't.
Who supports it and who doesn't? That's what I was asking.
Well, you were asking it in a kind of an unusual way.
Well, all right,
Is
3
that
to
the
2.
right to do?
Well, we have no problem saying it.
Yeah.
Steph-
Just let's,
All right, you want-
like I said, let's
Let's give
speed
you
it
the
along.
answer. Stephanie, were you in favor of?
Councilwoman,
No, and can I explain my
Yes.
reason why? My reason for not supporting it is for personal experiences. I have been trying to get my name off the mail-in ballot since I won election 8 years ago. I have sent multiple notices to the county through different avenues, through people that work there, and I still receive a mail-in ballot. So, Mr. Gaines, when you say I am a mail-in ballot, it's not by choice. So I'm sorry that I do not have faith in the county election system from a personal experience. I do not. I've also had people come to me and say that during this past election, they saw mail, the bags at the drop box at the county office not be secure. So I, from personal reasons, I'm not in a campaign this year, do not have faith in the county election process. I don't.
Thank
And that's
you.
my reason why.
Councilman Carroll.
Yes, I believe we should have early ballots.
Short and sweet. Councilman Battaglia.
Me personal, I don't support early voting because I saw how the system work. And I was there many times in the parking lot in the Bergen County. And I saw many people that was drawn by somebody else to drop the absentee ballots. So I really know that that will something that will help the other party if they have people that they are driving the residents from assistant living places or whatever to do an early vote.
Yes.
That's the reason I decided.
Or hiring a company to have
Or whatever,
petitions
whatever,
signed.
yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Deputy Mayor.
I think I explained my rationale.
Thank you.
Very
Mayor,
And I did as well.
thanks for your time.
You're welcome. Next person, please. Sir, how are you?
Good evening. My name is Rashid Goins, and I'm the first vice president of the Bergen County NAACP. I just want to make it clear because I know President Johnson said that, but the NAACP is a nonpartisan organization and does not support or endorse any candidates. So this issue is about voter accessibility. Whether your campaign or your campaign, it really doesn't matter. It's suppressing voters. And I think that's the issue that you guys need to get through here. All right, it doesn't matter what your campaign thinks or what they did or whoever did what. It's about giving accessibility to your voters. You can't compare this to Lyndhurst because Lyndhurst doesn't have the same demographics as Hackensack. So put politics aside and think about the people who put you where you're sitting right now.
Thank you, Rashid. I appreciate that. Next person, please.
Hi, Andy Post, 319 Clinton Place. I just want to say, we are not Lyndhurst. We are the county seat. We should set the precedent. I really expect that.
Ms. Post, Andy, can I just ask you a legitimate question? It does not bother you that Hackensack United tried to take us off the ballot?
I never heard that.
Of course you did.
Now you're being told that.
You're gonna hear
Well,
it
I've
now.
been told that. I need to see the
I-
proof.
We can get you the
I
letters.
would need to see the proof of
Come in and
that.
visit.
They'll
them.
be
They're
online
operable.
tomorrow, believe me.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate it. Next person, please.
Reverend Davis, 192 Stanley Place. I'm going to say right now that this is not about your campaign, John. This is about the people. And right now you're showing your ego. This is about the citizens of Hackensack. It's about letting them have early voting. And you yourself keep bringing the politics into it. Whether somebody said something or didn't, you sound like a 5-year-old. They said this about me. They said that about me. It's about the citizens of Hackensack and giving them an early chance to vote. We are not Lyndhurst. We are Hackensack. And that's all that's being asked. I don't care who said what about. And I don't think half of the people ask about who said what. You keep bringing that up.
I have no idea what that meant. Mr. Serbo.
I'm Rich Serbo, C-E-R-B-O.
I get-
Thank you.
I get- when
Yes.
I get mad, I get forgetful,
All right.
so.
Look, here's what's to come. 2 slates, 2 tickets, running, arguing. The heck, you can't even argue. They're arguing about voting now. So they're going to argue and just argue over nothing, okay? So I give you an alternative. I'm the only candidate running by himself. I can work with both slates, and I can compromise. We can work things out. Why the argument all the time? Work something out. Work out a deal, John, for early voting to make them happy, okay? Or, you know, maybe they should work with you and see the reality, and that there shouldn't be early voting, maybe. But work it out, okay? I'm that person. I'm running alone to work things out here. So these two tickets are going to fight for the next 2 months. Okay, a couple of things I wanted to talk about while I was, listening to, the back and forth. But, you use the word renaissance, I hear, in the city. That's a big word, John. That's a word that's is famous over the years, through the centuries, about reviving art and literature and really doing wonderful things from a classical period. So, if your Renaissance is about more haircuts and sandwich shops, let me know, okay? Because we can change the definition of Renaissance for Hackensack, okay? Just if you don't mind. All right. Another thing is I like the federal what is it called?
DOGE?
DOGE.
Department of Government Efficiency, is that what you're talking?
Department of Government Efficiency. I love it, okay? Because it's even if it's not true, we'll find the truth, but he's uncovering so much waste and fraud, and I don't think it's just on the federal government level, okay? I think it may filter down into the state, the county, and even down here. So how do we get to find out if there's fraud and waste? Can we have an efficiency camp? Can we have an efficiency?
Nothing to hide here.
Nothing to hide.
Is that possible?
Actually, we did, I'll wait till you're finished.
Government efficiency in Hackensack,
I'll
and
let you finish,
uncovering,
Richard.
awful spending and things that aren't going to benefit us, and it's taxpayer money. Everything's taxpayer money. Remember that. Federal, state, county, and local, every penny you spend is a taxpayer dollar, okay? So that's why we're concerned, and I like that DOGE. Thank you very much.
Right. Just a quick answer. That the first number of years of our term in office, that's exactly what we did, is look at ways to control spending and reduce expenditures that were not necessary. And we continue to do that on a daily basis here. We always go very thoroughly through, and we substantiate, and even every one of our departments that come through with their budgets, we do a bottom up, we do a zero-based budgeting. Everyone substantiates what they need in their departments, and it's made a nice difference in what we've been able to do as far as controlling our levy for the taxes for the city. So that is one of the major initiatives that this team took on 12 years ago and still continues to do. So we're not DOGE, but we certainly have looked for ways to cut costs, yes.
Can I ask a question for clarification?
Really not supposed to.
You're not supposed to.
Can we answer your question after the meeting? Because you can come up and speak with us, and we will be happy to do so. Robert's rules do not allow people to come back twice, I'm sorry.
So,
I'm just curious if you're really supposed to be campaigning from the dais.
Yeah. Again, this is not appropriate. You've had your time, you've made your point.
So the only thing I would say is you'd have to describe campaigning, because we've had it both ways here, but I understand where you're coming from now. And I think the next 2 months are probably going to have a lot more.
Unfortunately, silly season at its worst.
It is silly season. So, but I'd be happy to speak with both of you afterwards.
Anyone
Next
else?
person, please. Seeing no one, motion to close.
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Stephanie, you were.
Mayor, before we do that,
Yes.
I just need to make an announcement that the elevators are out of service. We just had somebody get trapped, if you saw the fire department. So they have
Is
to
there
use.
anybody in here?
Is anybody in
that
here
needs
handicapped that
assistance?
would need
Who's handicapped?
assistance?
Is there an elevator through the police
In the
department
what?
if we needed it?
Both elevators are down.
Both
I
are
was
down.
told. Yeah, I was told both are down.
All right, sorry, folks.
Sorry.
With that, need
I'm never
Steph?
gonna get up here.
Sure. Do we have to close?
Yeah, we closed the public session, right? Did we? I don't
Yeah.
remember.
Yes, you did. You made a motion to
No, I
close.
need a
Yes, you
motion,
did.
motion to close the public.
Well,
You did, you did, I
We
think.
did it?
Did it?
Okay.
Okay.
The elevator got us.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for coming out. I just wanted to start by thanking the Hackensack Public Schools, the Hackensack Johnson Public Library for the excellent art show that they put on the other week. It was great. Tara, Christy, and the staff there did an excellent job of supporting our young artists, and all the art teachers were there. There was a nice presentation to Tony Marseglia, who retired from the board for serving many, many years on the board and the community. So it was just a really, really nice night. And again, thanks to the Johnson Public Library staff, they really do an excellent job of supporting the community. 2 Sundays ago, we had our 2025 Twin County Wrestling League Championship. It was a great success, a great turnout. We had a lot of support from volunteers, and we just appreciate everyone being there, supporting our wrestlers throughout North Jersey, and for helping making it safe and successful. As Vinny said earlier, coaches for softball and baseball are still needed. So if you have time, or even if it's not every game, every practice, but just some time to be there, please reach out to the rec and sign up to help out. I just wanted to mention something in the national news that I thought I had a conversation with, I think 1 or 2 police officers a couple years back about fentanyl, and how, what the question that I had was, how come drug dealers are not charged as terrorists? Because they should be. Now when you deal drugs, there's a 90% chance that you're going to kill somebody, because there's a 90% chance fentanyl's in those drugs. And at the federal level, they are doing that. They are now charging drug dealers as domestic terrorists, or foreign terrorists if they're coming from another country, and that's where the fentanyl is coming from. So that is just something that I'm really happy to hear. I think that's a huge step in the right direction. There's too many. Still, every day, here's somebody, a friend of a friend, that's overdosing from fentanyl. And I've said it before, it's not kids that are, drug addicts or people that are drug addicts. It's kids that just tried something once, or they were sitting at their computer and wanted Adderall to stay awake, and their parent found them dead the next morning. It's really, really, it's sad. It's an epidemic, and I'm so happy that the government has agreed to start charging these drug dealers as terrorists, because that's what they are. They're here to kill Americans. So I just think that that's something, positive in the right direction, and I hope that this helps our law enforcement to, regulate a little bit more and support them, because it's a slap in the face when you're arresting someone and they're out the next day, and then they kill a bunch of people. So I think that's a great thing, and I'm happy about that. Thank you, everyone, for coming out, and have a great night.
Thanks, Steph. Yeah, I'll echo, the school did a wonderful job, at the library, and the students did a wonderful job, and my goodness, there was hundreds of people. I mean, the Johnson Public Library was packed, and it was filled with enthusiasm, which is part of what Hackensack is, and we were so happy to see that. Tara does a great job in the library, and Stephanie is the council's liaison to the library, so kudos to you two for supporting them and getting through that. They're looking at doing some major renovation on their lower level, where they're going to add teen room and some teen programming, which I think will be a wonderful addition to the Johnson Public Library. And of course, as a city, we're supporting that initiative to the greatest extent that we can. On the very same night, the Hackensack Art Club also had a change in artwork at our gallery at HackPack. And again, that art club is growing in numbers, and some of the work is just really, really beyond so lovely. And when the art club comes in, I think it's the best. If you have the opportunity, it's open every day. If you want to bring your lunch and go take a walk around, the pieces are lovely. And because it's the art club, so there's so many different artists, there's such a diversity in the type of artwork you're seeing. Frequently it's one artist, and I hate to say they all look the same, but there's a similar thread. Where here, there's different materials that are used, different types of art. They really do a wonderful job. And I'll tell you, any artists out there that are watching this, they're always looking for new members too. Please, they're a wonderful group, right, John? And John was with me.
It was awesome. Yep.
And they're so happy to have a place to display their artwork. And, I think it was one of the best things, and I'm happy we're naming it after Ruth, because she was the advocate for having an art gallery in town that it's really being put to wonderful use. I always try to go over a couple of the things, if there are anything on the agenda that has to do with redevelopment, because when folks, we're here talking about or reading through them, and it's blocks and lots, people frequently have no idea what we're talking about. So there were 2 items on tonight. One of them was for Sears. You know, we've been, along this council, stood firm on the fact that, you know, there were 2 pretty much iconic buildings in the downtown that we wanted to preserve. One was 210 Main. If you're as old as I am, you remember it as People's Trust. You know, if you're a little bit younger, you know, it was other banks, United Jersey Bank, et cetera, Summit Bank through the years. And it was, you know, for many years, it was the tallest building in the downtown. So, you know, that has been preserved and is converted to residential and is quite lovely. And we wanted the same with Sears. I mean, the Sears Tower has been, again, an iconic building. So we worked hard with development, and definitely we're maintaining that building. People will, it's not suitable really to live in that building the way the structure is, but there will be retail on the first floor, and there'll be either office space or amenity space throughout that tower. And they're looking to build, that's a huge piece of property. If you look at the size of the parking lot, River Street, all along River Street. So they've been approved tonight for the potential of maximum of 325 units that would be going in there. And we're working closely with the developer to do that. The next property that we talked about tonight is called the Sapphire. Now, if you're looking at the corner of Main and Mercer, all right, that's where the one tall building that we have, the only one that's a 14-story building that's called the Brick is there. This would be next to it on the south side. There's a vacant piece, there's an empty plot there. They're looking at lower and smaller, only 102 units there. They're going to be putting a rooftop restaurant there, which is something we wanted in town. I think we'll have a nice draw because the views are quite lovely there. They're going to do some office space and, of course, retail on the first floor. But they're looking to not only provide the parking that they need, but they're looking to also provide parking for the city. So this way we'll have some more parking right in a garage right there on Main Street. So I think that's a very worthwhile project. So those were the 2 that were on the agenda that we voted on tonight. Yes. I guess I'm cautiously optimistic. Steph is reminding me we had a meeting with the Board of Ed today, met some of the new board members. I think that the vibe we both got is that, you know, we're hoping that they're ready to move forward. We talked about, as I've talked about recently, you know, that the city had been working with the old board to where the city is going to purchase the property and let them have use and build over the parking lot so they can get the long-needed school to get out of Padre Pio and to help with the overcrowding in the middle school. So, you know, I think it took the new board members some time to figure it all out, but it sounds like they're trying to learn and move in the right direction. So again, I'm cautiously optimistic, and let's hope that this is going to be a fait accompli. Our CFO has our money put aside for it, so we're ready to make the purchase. They picked the property, so we're hoping that really comes to fruition. But it was a good meeting, Steph, and I am happy that we're going to be working together to get this accomplished. And last but not least, it is Women's History Month. So we're looking on March 26th. We're planning something in the city. We want to do a simple women's focus group where there'll be a group of Hackensack residents, women that have contributed a lot, not only to the city of Hackensack, but made great strides in their career. And they will there'll be an open communication amongst these women and individually by these women, and interaction with the audience as well. Do you remember, Allison, do you remember what time on the 26th? Did we get a time set? 6 to 8. Okay, 6 to 8 on March 26th. Again, it's a free event. So, you know, if you're interested and you want to come and learn or talk or meet some of these folks, I think it will be a nice evening. And I know that City Manager mentioned it, but, you know, we all mourn the loss of Eddie Decker. You know, he was a musician in town, very talented, owner of Musically Yours, passed away suddenly and unexpectedly. So on March 16th, many of his fellow artists, musically artists, are coming, and they're doing a show that that's supported by the city, of course, at the Hackpack. So if you're interested in hearing some great music, tickets are available online. Just go to hackpack.org. I think it's going to be a really, really nice event. So that's out there for folks to go to, too. Thank everyone for coming, and we hope to see you all again.
Well, it looks like finally we're going to start the construction in Johnson Park for the Johnson Park Sport Complex, and the same for Fushini Park that we're going to build the 3 baseball field, 8, 9, and 10. And we're going to add in the area that used to be the field number 7, it's going to be a football field with the lights and turf. And related to the paving, and last year we approved Parkway, 3rd Street and Davis, and we already allocated money for 2nd Street, but we had to finish some sewer work, and then we already got a list for 25. We're going to spend like a $4 million. We got, if somebody want to come, I can show you the list. Newman Street, the walls, Graham. We're going to do some improvements and some streets like in Grand Avenue, right by the school, Poplar and Fairmont, the ADA ramps. And I think if we got more money, we're going to go to Union, Atlantis, Warwood Lane, and Newman Street again, from Essex to Atlantis. Thank you for coming. Good night.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, happy Women's History Month. And I'm happy for all women. And it should not be just one month. It should be every month for all you women.
Every day.
I would like to bring up the early voting situation. Unfortunately, I wasn't here for the in-house discussion, but at my church, during the presidential election and voting, they provided early voting, transportation for early voting. And hearing the positive results from the people that took the opportunity and the advantage of it was greatly appreciated. These are a lot of elderly people who could not have attended during the regular voting day. So again, I do support the early voting, and the church did open my eyes to it, how important it really was. So I just want that to go on record here. I would like to thank everyone who has attended tonight's meeting, physically and remotely. Take care, and God bless.
Thank you, Jerry. So I too attended the school art show at the library. It was wonderful. I don't think I've ever missed one since I've been doing this. It's great to see our kids' artwork. And as Kathy said, we went to the Hackensack art show as well, down at the Hack Pack, which had some wonderful paintings down there that were displayed. I too was at the high school or the junior wrestling regions, and they do a great job. They've got a great crew of people working in Hackensack on the junior program, and it's very successful. And it's thanks to people like Councilwoman Stephanie here who make it successful. So thank you for that, Steph. We appreciate it. Prayers out to our Newark Police Officer Joseph Escona and the other injured officer as well, to their families. And it was a 14-year-old, I believe.
Yes.
It's unbelievable. Prayers. Also prayers to Syria. I don't know if anybody's following what's going on in Syria right now, but it's pretty brutal what's going on over there. It's pretty new. But it's basically a giant genocide going over there involving a lot of Christians. So it's prayers to those people over there. And the Ed Decker show is going to be great. Ed was a great character. He was driving force between the Pack the House series in Hackensack, which really got it off the ground. Was major part of bringing in some very big acts into the Hack Pack. And he's missed. He spent a lot of time with Eddie at meetings and stuff, and he was a character. He was tough, but we really do miss him. I too would like to wish all the women happy Women's Month, and you're right. And then maybe there'll be an extra piece of pie tonight for us when we get home. But we'll see. And with that, I want to wish everybody a safe trip home, and anybody who wants to come up and speak with us afterwards. And I'd like to speak to one of the police officers, anyone from the group that's here tonight, and come up and see me, please. All right, and with that, I need a motion to close.
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you, folks. Auntie, if you had a question, I'll answer. Come, if you come up. Anyone who has a question or wants to speak, please just come forward. We're always here to help.